course, F1's late and deeply missed Chief Medical Officer, Professor Sid Watkins. Ladies and gentlemen, to receive the award in his honour, we're delighted to welcome his son and his widow, Alistair and Susan Watkins. Susan, we are delighted that both you and your son could join us tonight. Sid made such an impact on safety within Formula One. You must be incredibly proud of his legacy.
Very proud indeed. He was a remarkable man. And the Holy Trinity for Sid, I think, was the safety of drivers, the safety of the circuits, and the safety of the cars. That was his passion. It was in his DNA. And I think so many people have benefited by the changes that Sid instituted and that Sir Jackie Stewart began. So all of us and the sport have benefited from that. Thank you for this honour.
You're more than welcome. Alistair, I'm just going to pass that across to you. Your father was so loved and cherished within the F1 community for his sense of humour and significantly, really, his sense of perspective, wasn't he?
Absolutely, and he was an extraordinary person. And I think one of the things about him was, because his main career was outside of motorsport, and it was the politics of the NHS, and it was neurosurgery, and it was, being a professor of neurosurgery in a London hospital, and that was his day-to-day work. And then the weekends were Formula One, and then that was completely different. But what that meant for him was that he could come to Formula One every 2 weeks, his passion, his love, but he could be very sanguine about it. He could provide perspective that maybe those in the sport didn't have, because it was their world. So he gave a really interesting view on life, and I think he was everyone's friend, from the lowliest mechanic to the loftiest team principal. It didn't matter who you were, he was there for that person, for the love of medicine. And he became famous really for his statutory response if someone had a problem, which was, have a large whiskey and a couple of aspirins and go to bed.
We shall all bear that in mind for later. Ron, you knew and worked with Sid throughout your time in Formula One. Just how significant was his contribution to the sport of Grand Prix racing?
Well, his contribution was immense. The list is huge. But I think, as many people here in the room would attest, it was the behind-the-scenes Sid that was so amazing. I mean, he was an inspiration to many, and no problem was too small or too great. And I remember a story of a family visiting Susan and Sid, and they were there to fish with Sid. Sid was an avid salmon fisherman. And the day was very barren, no fish were caught on the day. Sid reputedly said, not to worry, we have one in the refrigerator, and duly produced this salmon. It was about to start cleaning it, and a 6-year-old girl walked into the kitchen and asked what he was doing. Sid, without hesitation, said, "I'm about to dissect this fish." The young girl was so focused on what happened, went back to her mother and said, "I'm going to be a doctor." And time went past, and the young girl passed her exams, took her A-levels, was the youngest student, almost the youngest female student to get into Oxford Medical School. And in her personal statement, the starting line was, "It all started with a fish." And that was my daughter. And she's a very successful doctor now. But it was how he monitored and not facilitate, because she's very ambitious, but really how he cared for people at all levels. And that was, for me, epitomised Sid. And, every solution had a glass of whiskey in it, often more than one. And we would frequently exceed our alcoholic intake together, very often at Grand Prix, and I would get such a telling off from Susan, because he would always phone up.
For influencing.
For influencing him, yes. The other side of Ron Dennis. I remember being in Mexico once, and this waiter came along, and he had the dirtiest fingernails you could imagine. And we spent 2 hours talking about everything we were going to catch as a result of this waiter serving his food. And of course, Sid would wax lyrically about every single thing that he talked about. He was a very passionate person, a very dedicated person, and he really was a friend to everybody in Grand Prix racing. Sadly missed.
Absolutely. Just finally, Susan, I will give you back this microphone if you don't mind. We must, of course, mention his terrific friendship with the great Ayrton Senna as well. I mean, it appeared that he had a huge influence on both men, really. And he was close to other drivers, but would it be fair to say that it was the most significant of his relationships within Formula One and those drivers?
Well, Ayrton became a member of the family and very close to all the children. And when we lost Ayrton and Ron's family as well, we all felt it very deeply. And Sid loved him like a son. And he's a lot of family, and he's a loving person. And they were very close, yes. But Sid cared about all the drivers, I really need to emphasize that. And I was so moved earlier to hear about the Sean Edwards test. I think Sid would find that very interesting, and I think that's very encouraging. And safety never ends. No matter what your relationship is with an individual, he cared about all the drivers, not just Formula One, but all motorsport.
Well, Susan, Alistair, Professor Sid Watkins has been voted into the Motorsport Hall of Fame ahead of some of the greatest racing drivers in history. And I think we'll all agree in saying that his place is very well deserved. Thank you to Ron Dennis also for joining us on stage. So Professor Sid Watkins joins the Motorsport Hall of Fame for 2016.